Hi folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with AstrologyMojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. So we're going to be talking about Pluto Trine, Uranus, and Jupiter, mainly Jupiter. And let me just show you what that looks like. Come say hello to me. We are talking about some upcoming mind-blowing expansion in the next... Yes, this is the beginning phase of it, but it's also going to go even bigger. Let me share. Here we go. Okay, so here's what the chart looks like. And I'll bring this over here so I can actually show you. This is Pluto. And again, if you're new to me and you don't know that I do say that the planets don't do anything to us, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when you make a move, it's depicted by way of aspects and angles in an astrological chart. I'm just going to lower the glare on this. Okay, so what we're looking at here, Pluto, represents the part of all of us that is TNT for the psyche, that goes to core, that comes out the other side, a new person, we hope, or a little bit less structured or limited. And Pluto is the shore, represents the shore of our unconscious selves. And the collective, it's undergone a new transition, and that is the Pluto has entered the constellation of Aquarius. And Aquarius represents the unique, the new, the rebellious, the technological currency, not just finances, but wind, water, and electricity currency. So what's your currency? Your vibe is going to create a pattern that makes money for you, or loses money for you, or invests money for you, or you're going to acquire things based on who you are, not because the planet is making you do something, but you're going to acquire thoughts, friends, stuff in your house, and everything has an energy and a frequency. So the moment you place importance on something, that thing expands your awareness. You could become obsessed about something. You could become focused on, how do I upgrade my thoughts? How do I upgrade my technology? Right? So Pluto in Aquarius, just on its own, represents a whole new jump and a level of safety that goes with it. Because, you know, if you're standing on the edge of a cliff and someone says jump, you might be the kind of person that says, yeah, you know, I got like sails on my back, I can do it. Other people will be looking down going, how far is down and why should I be jumping? So there's this feeling of being, for some people, being pushed towards something new. Like my grandmother, it's a mind-blowing concept to go into a place that has never experienced technology and then to show them a flashlight, a telephone, right? Just imagine my grandmother, who I guess if she were here, she's off planet, but she would have been maybe 140 right now. Anyway, when she was introduced to escalators, she could not negotiate them. She didn't understand how stairs could be moving. She didn't know so she just took the stairs or the elevator because nothing was moving. It felt like it was moving, but she didn't visually see the stairs moving. So this is the kind of thing we're going to start to experience more and more. When Pluto in Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about technology, as I said, and also higher thinking, humanitarian aims. Let's take care of the planet. Why are those people starving? What the heck? We have so much abundance and plenty here or over there. Let's find a way to get it to these people. So there's going to be so much more outreach programs and a whole lot of stuff like that going on. But when I look at this, and I'll just show you the big picture. Wait a minute. Come over here. Nope, that's not the big picture. Okay, I thought it would get bigger. Let's see if I can make it bigger. This is me learning how to use technology right here on the fly. Okay. So when we have a trine, which is 120 degrees, 8 degrees either side, 100, well, just 8 degrees either side of 120. And we have, and this is, by the way, by June 27th. So between now and today is the 13th of June. So we're going to experience the chug, the movement toward something greater, something entering our awareness, not because the planet or planets are doing anything to us, but because we are ready on an evolutionary scale to experience something greater, something that's mind-blowing. And so when is the last time that Pluto in Aquarius was trine Jupiter in Gemini? 1772. Here in America, it was pre-United States. What were they doing? They were thinking about, well, we just got free of the colonizers, so let's become our own colonizers and create colonies, and basically came up with this government came up with a whole new way of having a government, but yet still excluding certain types, female and non-white. So, right? Okay, so we got away from something here in the United States, and we mirrored, and then we took on the roots of what we knew. I say the collective we. And we created the United States of America. And that was mind-blowing to a lot of people, especially to the natives who were overrun and dismissed and, and horrors inflicted. So there was a revolution, is what I'm saying. We're moving toward re-evolution. And it can look like revolution if people are resistant to the change. When Jupiter, which enters a different constellation every 12 months, moved into Gemini, the thought and talk is more around AI technology. Now, later on today, I'm going to pick up my phone and open it up and go to something I found on Instagram. It's a woman who instructs you on how to opt out of AI in Instagram, utilizing your videos, your information, and creating AI images of you and whatever information they choose to attach to it. So it's like, as we up our game with, oh yeah, that's cool. Vacuum cleaners. I remember when my father bought my mother a vacuum cleaner where she didn't have to like bend over and push. And it was an upright, and she still bent over and pushed because that was the pattern. So we're going to find ways of changing and altering patterns in the next 20 years when Pluto is in Aquarius. And this is an ongoing thing. It's not new, right? Change is evolutionary. We figure something out. It doesn't work. We try something else. We invent something. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's easier. It makes life easier. But what does it do? What are the side effects? So we're going to be looking at all avenues, medicine and healthcare and the world, earth, farming. Everything's going to be revolutionized, re-evolutionized. And the idea of what am I going to do with this information? Well, as Pluto trining, and it's a positive energy, Jupiter in Gemini, also trining Uranus in Taurus. Let's talk about that. Uranus is the planet that is guides Aquarius. So here we have like a loop effect, and it's like, let's open a door. And the door is inner. The door is to your higher inner being. The door is to the revelations that are going to be happening in your mind and body first. Because everything you think, everything you ingest, Everything you output and emit is a frequency, a word, a vibration, a feeling, a suggestion, an argument, a congratulation. Everything that comes out of you is going to create matter in a faster, more present tense way. And you're going to see it and feel it. And then you're going to say to yourself, why did I say that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Or did they just do that? What? I need to say something to them. So it becomes more immediate. It being the air sign mental facilities, air sign mental capacity to understand. And we're going to be learning as we go. As we go. When is it different any other time? There is an acceleration period, however, that is represented by a planet entering a constellation. It's like you saying, yeah, I'll live in this apartment for a while, and and it's new when you get in, and you have to figure things out, and you grumble about there's not enough outlets in this room, but it's nice and quiet, and there's a pretty view over there, but I always hear them slamming doors across the hall. So you have to get used to something new, and then you make adjustments, and then you settle in, and then the habitual thing begins, because that's what humanity does. And then when the building supervisor comes by and says, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave. We sold the building. We have to fumigate. We have to fix the floor. There's water leakage in the roof. Whatever the situation, you're thrown from your pattern. And it's like, it's not comfortable. And you don't want to change. And it's frustrating. And it's exciting for some people who are already looking to make that transition, to make something better about their lives. So they brave a new world. That's what this is all about. That Pluto in Aquarius, trining Uranus, Jupiter in Gemini, which is thought-provoking information. And then the depths of information with Uranus in Taurus. It's like, it's got to vibe. It's got to resonate with you. It's got to feel like the truth. It's got to mesh with what gives you security and comfort, and then it's going to throw you off axis and blow your mind. Now, I write historical fiction fantasy, and I have for years, so I do a lot of research. I am now learning how to use AI to help me research, and there was an upgrade in the AI, and I could feel it because I felt tangled on the inside, and I was asking it a question about the 9th century. And it gave me an answer in, very almost humanized way. Have fun with your research and your writing. Thank you. Thank you. This information, I'm asking for different words to define this word, and you keep giving me the same words over and over again. Surely there are more words, more appropriate words than what you're giving me. Oh, apologies, AI said to me. Let me continue. And there it was in 3 seconds, the same words. And I got frustrated, and I was now arguing with AI. And I learned from my husband, who has been studying this for almost a year now, on how to use it, what to do with it, how to teach it, how to upgrade it, how to help it help you. So I said, I am not going to argue with you because it frustrates me, but I'm going to go to another AI service and get my answers there. And so that is also for the people who create AI to see comments like that and say, oh, we got to up our game. So everybody's working together, and I went somewhere else and I got my answers. And then I always double check, and I research and I double check. So it's not like it's the new Bible. It's not. It's learning. AI is learning because we're teaching it. And it will come to a point where some people will lose their jobs because of AI, and that's when the revolution begins, because they weren't listening to get prepared, learn how to use it. I listen to a lot of tarot readers or card readers or intuitives online, and there's one guy that just cracks me up, and I love him, Chris Reck and Minnow Pond, and he talks about people needing to get with the AI program and just at least learn the basics of it. So because you could go and start your own YouTube channel and do whatever you want. And is it going to be hard? It's not going to feel comfortable. Change is never comfortable. But when I look at Pluto in Aquarius, guided by Uranus in Taurus, this feels like, I like to look at the planets and the signs as people, and it feels like people just reached the end of we're done. You're not allowed to talk to me like that anymore. We're done. So either we work together and we work it out, or no. Or, yeah, I think I'm worth more than that. I've asked for my raise, I've asked for a promotion, and they keep putting it off or saying, budget cuts in this economy. It's like, yeah, no. I'm going to go somewhere else. If you value me, keep me. Meet my terms. Let's do it. Come on, I'm excited. I already know how to do. You want me to train someone? Well, you're going to have to pay me extra to do that. So it's like the negotiation has begun. And some people are already starting to feel the grumble. And they're starting to feel like, when we look at who is available for our political parties, and we say, no. Energetically and mathematically, the sign, S-I-N-E, not the S-I-G-N, but the sign is a wave, and it goes up and down, and it continues. And whatever's on the upside eventually is going to be on the downside. And the down and the upside mirror one another. So the two parties that exist in this country are exactly the same. And I'm not creating a political forum here, but I'm saying wherever you go, you're going to start to see what is working, what is not working in your own behavior first. Yes. And then in the systems around you. So, Taurus loves a good, cozy, secure place. And it's got to be grounded and help the earth flourish. Jupiter is all about, just imagine someone coming in going, Jupiter guides Sagittarius. And just imagine, Jupiter coming in and going, all right, I just flew in from, pick a place, and now I'm going to go skydiving. Who wants to come? Wait, we need to meditate first. I just learned something in the country that I was in. This beautiful practice, this ritual, so it's like we're going to meld the old information of the earth peoples, the ones who were here before technology, before I was going to say something inappropriate, but I'm not going to say that. The people who are more grounded to the earth, who I don't say, yeah, let's go back to the old days. The old days, what? When there were less creature comforts? No, I'm comfortable. I like my chair and my electricity. But I also want to harmonize it, Gemini. I want to balance it out with, let's put some hydroponic things in the backyard. Let's make sure we're not spraying pesticides on the earth. We live here, people. We are living on a living thing. That's Taurus going, no, don't spray that. You're killing us. So there's going to be all this judgment. The Gemini business with Mercury is going to want to come out and say, no, you can't. And this is why. Here's the scroll of all the reasons of what it's causing and the harm that it's doing. And then here comes the old guard. Pluto and Uranus are going to be breaking up the old guard. Well, they're not really. It's a collective feeling of, look at the elections around the globe. Look at who is growing, who's moving backwards in time. Because some people want that. When was it? The 1300s? 1400s? When Copernicus said, yeah, by the way, church elders, the earth is not flat. There are now more people coming out still maintaining that the earth is flat. So, the extremes come together. Now, we don't want to be warring with each other, do we? I don't. Some people do. They think it's necessary. But what I'm saying is that in your own personal life, if you want to have your mind blown, be open to a possibility and to prep to fertilize that ground in your headspace. Do one new thing a day, simple things, just to start to create neurons in your brain that help you to see that, oh, I never had a purple drink before. Well, if you get some butterfly pea, PEA flowers, and boil some water and put them in, and it doesn't taste like anything. It's just blue or purple depending on the consistency of the water. Add lemon juice, it turns darker blue or green. And you say, I've never had purple or blue before. So you try something, but with trepidation, of course, right? But what comes out of it is a whole new experience that feels like Disney. Now, I don't mean the business. I mean cartoons, and they're all templates, by the way. Every Disney movie is a template. So you can just overlay every movie and see the same theme. But that's what works. You do what works, right? But you start to have these feelings and these thoughts of, I don't want to be cramming chips and chocolate gooey sugar in my face every day. I've just been stuffing my feelings. Start there. Oh, okay. I'll start walking more. We're not going to extremes as Gemini would have us do, but we are going to expand as Jupiter represents. And it's going to be revolutionary for each of us internally. Now, sadly, many people will choose to leave this earth in what seems like, that was so sudden. They were doing great. And what happened? And then conversely, oh my gosh, they're not in hospice anymore? What? That's a miracle. So people are going to be making internal decisions based on their own agenda, not yours. So if you see someone do something, or they suddenly leave, or, the city, the country, the planet, your life, or they suddenly just don't resonate that frequency anymore, that's what's happening. And they don't align with that, it's going to be quick and sudden. You join a group and you think, oh, this is the greatest dance group I've ever been part of, great exercise. And then 3 weeks in, you're like, no, not for me. And so there's going to be a lot of shifting of power. And it's going to feel like a crack in the foundation. It's going to feel like your belief systems are splintering. And, I had posted some, because I research a lot of, my historical fiction fantasy books are based from the 5th century into the future. And right now I'm in the 9th century, and they're based on the geopolitical system, religious system of the area, and people's belief systems, right? So there have ever been the same stories being told. But if you're only in one sect or religion, you will only know that story as the story. There are over 10, I think there's 15 now, 15 discovered through history. Joseph Campbell had talked about this as well, the historian who watches stuff. He did that expose with Bill Moyers years and years ago. And the power of myth. And so just to give an example, if you talk to a devout Christian, and I'm not downing any or supporting any religion, I believe in pure conscious love, however it looks, as long as it doesn't try to limit me or cause harm. But the crack in the long-held belief systems are going to show themselves. But that makes room for, yes, there's going to be grief and bewilderment and confusion and resistance. And then there's going to be, oh, wow, I just learned something. Oh my gosh, I used to believe that planets affected us. I would tell people, Mercury's retrograde, just like lay low. Not anymore, because I have learned, I've grown, I've been to the quantum and back. Every day I go when I meditate. And that experience of, I came from Greek Orthodoxy, where you're taught a certain thing, like anyone who's taught a certain thing. And then to find out through my research that the same story was being told over and over and over again before Christianity. There was a Messiah, and the Messiah spouted this information, and that information got that Messiah killed, and there was the mother, and there was the, and it goes on, and it's the same. Egyptians have that story. I mean, it's cultural. So when I look at Jupiter and Gemini, I'm thinking, yeah, prepare to learn something about unlearning something. And that's going to be beautiful if you allow it. It's like my grandmother trying to step on an escalator and going, she couldn't read or write, but she was a whiz at numbers. She ran a produce market and didn't speak English. She was Greek. I still have her goat bell. I have a goat bell that was hers. And she used to pick olives. And then she comes to another world, with another language, another system, another learning, and does her best and still refuses to learn English. And still refuses at the time. And then looked at a moving staircase and said, I don't even know what that is. How does that work? How do you do that? I'm not getting on that thing. So if you know that's the camp that you're in, then to negotiate and navigate this is simply do one new thing a day. Try a new cultural food. If you say, I can't stand the smell of that food. Okay, well, maybe you have some memory of it, or maybe it's just you don't like onions. It's fine. Try another version of, meat or Indian food or Italian food or Indonesian food or Russian food or whatever. Just try one new thing a day, new music. You're going to start to train your brain to grow neurons that like a baby would and go, what's that? So instead of fear and resistance, you're going to experience wonder. I wonder what that is. Can I touch that? When babies are little, and tots, they go through a stage called empty fill. So you give them a bucket, a bowl, or whatever, and they put stuff in it, and then they dump it out. And you're like, I just cleaned up the living room. And they put stuff in, and they dump it out. And that's teaching them math. Empty fill teaches a child math. So if you have a child, a grandchild, know of a child who is doing that, do it with them. Then you're showing them how math can be fun. Not, I just cleaned up that floor, put it back. There's a different message, right? So you're learning how to think behind the thing. It's like saying to a child who's crying, what are you crying for? There's nothing to cry about. Oh, you had a nightmare. It's okay. It's just a dream. It's over. I'm here. Okay, that's meant to be supportive, isn't it? But it's not. It's invalidating. Because to a child or someone with newly growing neurons, they are wide open. And to say to a child, there's nothing to be afraid of, invalidates what they are feeling in that moment. Instead, you validate. So if you're undergoing, so to a child, you would say, oh, you had a nightmare. Oh, well, can I hug you and cuddle with you? I want you to know that you're safe. And that, can you tell me some images that you saw in your dream? And so then you're validating that they had the experience instead of ghosting them or gaslighting them at the age of 2, So the same thing with you. Someone presents new information. Oh yeah, we're going to upgrade the facility and we're going to move your office to the other side of the building where they have no windows. And so you're like, whoa, okay, that's a lot of change. Can you walk me through it? Is that going to be temporary? And if it's not, can you tell me what the plan might look like? So you're going to create steps. Okay, where is it? I don't know where it is. I have an image of a person walking between buildings. And the, I think it's Berchtold Brecht's was the artist. And there's a person, and I don't know if it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, but they're walking between buildings and they're holding a rope and they're stepping on the rope that's tied to the building behind them, but there's no rope in front of them. So they are creating their own tightrope. And that's what we're looking at here with Pluto in Aquarius, trining positive energy to Jupiter, expansion, cultural expansion, higher learning and educational expansion, publishing. So if you're thinking of writing or you're having an experience and you need to write it down to go, I just had a dream. I don't remember the whole thing, but I'm just going to write down a couple of lines. That's going to help you. You have an idea for, you want to start a YouTube channel. And I've been telling my kid for years, you'd be great having your own channel. And they're an Aquarius rising. And they said, yeah, I just started really like writing it down and like plotting it out and seeing what I want to do with it. So if you've got this idea of what is possible, then an idea is going to come in your head and go, yeah, you can't do that. You don't have enough money. It's, you know, when are you going to do it? You're exhausted now. You're going to do this after work, or, you know, the kids have to get fed, or I got to do laundry, or I got to go food shopping, or I got to pay the bills. And okay, that's always going to be there. It always has been there. But now you're going to find a way to remove the mask of the negative. And that's what Pluto represents. It's taking away the fear. What is fear? Fear is insecurity, it's arrogance, it's procrastination to a degree. Sometimes procrastination is a healthy way of delaying something so that you can process. So you have to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. So when Pluto is in Aquarius for the next 20 years, you're going to come to that juncture very soon, especially most people will this year, because Pluto will make its last retrograde back into a Capricorn. To Capricorn is September through the end of November, and that's the time frame when the old guard is going to fight its damnedest to stop you from changing, to stop you from having a voice. And that starts with your mind. That's when your limitations rise. That's when your fears rise and say, yeah, I thought it was a good idea, but I'm just going to go back to what I know. It's just simpler. Yeah, I'm just going to check out and watch a bunch of shows. So as you're moving through your day and you come across a feeling that feels frustrating, judgmental, erratic, or rebellious, that's what all these things feel like. Well, they don't really. They just represent the parts of you that feel like that and symbolize. Pluto symbolizes your fear. What does that fear look like? Name it. Jupiter represents the judgment and the overindulgence in that judgment. I can have 10 more cookies. It's okay. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. You know what never comes? You know what you're always chasing? That never comes? Tomorrow. Because you're always in the now. And then Uranus says, nope, I'm jumping off that building with my arms out and I'm going to fly and try and stop me. Or it's the exact opposite for all of these. And it's, no, we're not changing. You know what happens when you change? Chaos. Well, yeah, because as soon as you break the pattern, you don't have anything familiar to grasp onto except faith and trust. Oh, we come to the crux of the matter. And that is, where are you going to go if something feels shaky? You could scroll for distraction. You could talk on the phone. You could, type emails. You could chat with friends. You could drink, take edibles. You could watch TV and numb yourself. You could do a whole lot of stuff. But until you go within and realize the power that you have in here to affect and affect change, that's the mind-blowing event that is laid out for you now. And so the doors are open, especially now between the 27th of June. It's going to be happening, for 20 years with Pluto and Aquarius. But take advantage of this time and just start doing something new. Create the pattern. Just create the pattern and see what happens. I have two of them. They are garden crystals. And they're spectacular. And I'm going to show this to you. Sometimes when I get lost and where did I take my story? What do I do? I have some of the other crystals on the inside, but here, let me just bring this to you here. And can you see that in there? Oh. Well, the green screen kind of stops it and we're not focusing very well. Ah, come on. But, you know, you look at it one way and it looks like trees. And then you look at it another way and it looks like an ocean. It's hard to see that, isn't it? Oh, well. But anyway, I will look at things and see them differently by choice. And I want you to start doing the same thing, because the upside of all that chaos and revolution and, you know, my head's buzzing, is I want to do something that feels like me. I want to do something that I've always wanted to do, like learn to play piano, or, you know, take that drama class, or learn to sculpt, or study religion. I know somebody who does that. And so there's so many things you could be exploring in this world, and that is the beauty of this open door now. And this open door represents, again, one more time, Pluto in Aquarius, really seeing your power and your potential to expand into your thoughts, to feel more secure as you evolutionize your existence. What do you believe in? That's what it's going to ask you. Where is my power? How can I utilize it? How can I manifest something consciously and feel like I am connected to pure conscious love and I see the beauty all around me? And then suddenly you only attract beauty. Think about that. And then we'll be back next week for an early oracle. I won't be here on June 27th because it's my husband's birthday. Yay! And we're going to do something special. And then, but next week I'll be back, and I will see you then. As always, I wish you peace and thank you. Thank you for being. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time.